Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. And we are going to start now. I think we still have people trickling in, but a very good morning, afternoon, evening to everyone who's joined today. I am Samir Pant. I head global sales at Signeasy, and with me, I have Karthikeyan, who is our API product manager. Karthik, you want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone.
Right.
Glad to be here.
All right. So, well, we would like to thank everyone for joining today and on this webinar. In the attendees, we have people who are evaluating eSignature APIs for the first time, and also a lot of our existing SaaS platform users are also customers are also joined. So we've planned this webinar to be an interesting and knowledgeable session, and we'll be covering what is an API, why people are leaning towards APIs for automating a lot of their workflows internally, and also we'll talk about some typical use cases. So if you are thinking of, or you've already figured out an area where you can automate some of your document workflows, we will share some use cases, and then we'll be closing with a demonstration of how an API works, and Karthik will help us with that. And then we've also added some polls in between. We'll let you know when they start. Please encourage us and respond to them. And as it'll be good to hear your thoughts. And we'll keep 10-15 minutes for Q&A at the end. Today's agenda, as you see, is pretty packed, but we won't take a lot of time going through these. What we will do is, from here, we'll start the webinar for today. We've kept the chat open, so if you have any questions, please feel free to put your questions there. We have someone who's noting them down, and we'll take them at the end of the session. So we'll go off the video now, as we want to concentrate on the webinar, and we'll come back when we close this at the Q&A. Okay, well, so what are APIs, and why are companies adopting them? If I can, if you think about it, APIs can improve internal and external collaboration, communication, and coordination within an enterprise. At its core, API delivery is about connectivity. They enable different systems, applications, and platforms to connect and share data with each other, and also perform various types of functions. Companies are actually relooking at the critical business document workflows that they run on in an attempt to improve them further. Nowadays, well, it's found that within these traditional business workflows, document workflows, not all information is completely captured, even with the existence of an enterprise solution like an ERP, CRM, or any industry-specific in-house application. Moreover, the biggest realization is that they lack legal and compliance requirements. Karthik, you've been a product manager for a while, a long while, and how do you see this change from regular processes within companies to improve in development and delivery via the APIs?
Good question, Samir. So, in my past experience, I had a requirement in my previous product, actually. So it was our users wanted a way to chat among themselves within the product.
Right.
I was like evaluating if we could build one such chat system from scratch. And our developers came back with a turnaround time of like 2 months. So that's when we kind of like started evaluating, like if there is an off-the-shelf product that we can just right away use it. And we came across this product called Rocket Chat, and it kind of had all the features that we wanted. And it also had this API interface as well. So when we tried, evaluated that and did a POC and tested it and went to production, it just took like 2 weeks for us actually. So everyone in the team was happy about it, and we kind of like saved months of development time there. It was a huge save actually, and in the end, what we were still able to provide that seamless chat experience that we wanted with the from the scratch product that we aimed for, and all that happened within our product actually. So to answer your question, right, Samir, so I feel that APIs is like they open a new level of opportunities for businesses where they can, it's like going around and shopping for a functionality,
Right.
and you can quickly power it up and integrate it into a system. Like it's like you can save a lot of development time, and also the beautiful part here is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel again. You know, you get what I'm saying, right? So it's like you're spending resources on the places that matter, and you don't have to like reinvent the wheel, and also like you don't have to spend the resources on maintenance of that. So
Right.
that's where I see that the business process, or like the regular development process, is kind of like moving towards an API driven development and delivery.
Yeah, thanks for that. And it makes so much of sense, right? If you're a software company, but you have a core product, you don't need to spend time and energy and changing a roadmap by just
Exactly.
integrating and building a lot of things, right? And then managing them, right? You
Exactly.
can just take, like you said, go off the shelf, find the best API available that can help you enhance your product and make that quicker decision and a quicker delivery, rather than spending a lot of time going around thinking about it and then building it over, right, and then managing. So yeah, great. As you see, everyone, there is definitely a big rise in the last decade in terms of how people want to use APIs, and this brings us to so thanks for that, Karthik. I'm sure that that helps us think of areas where companies can implement eSignature APIs as well. Um, now, what really does API do for you if you're looking at implementing APIs for improving your current workflows? So think about it this way: when systems or computers manage APIs, very less human effort is required, and workflows can be easily updated to become faster and more productive. Um, so that's the bigger impact of having an API-led initiative or an API-led strategy internally for improvement on processes. In addition, new content and information can be published and shared with your entire audience quickly and efficiently across all channels that you're building across or delivering on. So when you automate an important business workflow, let's take an example. Let's say a patient care center or a hospital can completely automate the patient registration, consent forms process, or relieving formalities by auto generation of documents, filling them by from their system of record, getting a sign off, getting any custom information that they need through custom text fields, and then putting it back to the system of record, hence getting document management in place as well. So if you see, thus overall, it increases productivity, it streamlines and improves your processes. Uh, and the best part is, we'll cover this in the subsequent slides, that using APIs, because they're pre-built and they're ready to use off the shelf, these changes can happen within days, and thus you recognize more revenue. You also cut down a lot of cost, and you improve your customer experience as you make things automated. Now, moving on, we've spoken a few of the things. Now, you might be thinking, well, we have workflows, and I think we're pretty set. We know what is happening, but let's just think about it in a different way. Here, we've put some examples in very traditional industries, very well set industries. Now, we'll see a little bit about how industries and their departments have these different use cases for APIs. Now, Typically, you will assume that these traditional industries would have an enterprise application like an ERP, CRM, in-house application, etc. However, as we mentioned earlier, in the last decade, they're also realizing that while their existing systems could generate documents, there are still a lot of manual process which is still involved, via emails, changing hands, printouts, etc. And in addition, these processes do not necessarily cover the risk and compliance issues throughout the entire life cycle of that document. So, but now through APIs, eSignature APIs, these industries are automating their critical processes and also maintaining risk and compliance by things like audit trail, two-factor authentication, and so on and so forth. What do you think about this, Karthik?
Yes, Samir, I've been hearing a lot from our customers on this front, actually. Like you mentioned, the need for the end-to-end coverage, right, for compliance and risk compliance and all that. So it's not that apparent to many even today. So it's like we are in the phase where that knowledge of the documents life cycle has to be covered under these end-to-end covered under the umbrella of compliance. That is something that we are experiencing now, and that's pretty much what is happening now.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, very quick over here before we move on to some of the case studies that we wanted to share with you. If you see, we spoke about different processes within different industries, but here are some which are actually LOB, because that kind of helps you also to understand that while these look like already in place, already set, but there's still a lot of these processes can be automated completely through APIs, and you can provide. The best part about having these, just look at these processes, right? Human resources. It is not just automation; it's the user experience. Recruiters are now managing better their hiring, because the end the candidate is having a different experience altogether working with them. They don't have to run around taking printouts. They can respond back quickly. They can get things on the go. And similarly, like traditional places where you thought nothing can automate, like asset tracking, companies which have got 1,000 employees and 15 locations, and managing a centralized IT admin. Imagine now the entire asset tracking, delivery, acceptance is all automated. And the moment for example, a new employee is created, the asset acceptance and the entire process automates completely for them, right? So APIs are not just impacting traditional big processes, but regular processes where people don't usually look at. Just for this, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking or probably have realized some of the areas that you can automate through these two examples. But what we are also doing is that we are extending a workshop to anyone who'd be interested to explore such areas within their companies. So you can get in touch with our API solution architects over the next couple of weeks. And for that, we will have a poll at the end. So please, choose yes or no. And what we will do is that we'll reach out to you to set up for these workshops. Now, the interesting part, I'll give it to Karthik. Karthikeyan, to start and tell us about the real use cases. We've so far just spoken about them, but here it is where you can actually see that these do happen. Over to you, Karthik.
Thank you, Samir. So if you look at this slide, we have some amazing customers here. So let's start with Zenequity first. So Zenequity is, they are ESOP management portal. I'm sure most of you know what ESOP is. It's employee stock options. So when Zenequity's portal, thousands of employers, they log in every day and every month and send out grant letters to their employees. So at this scale, Zenequity's goal is to provide the users with a reliable, stress-free signing experience, because when it comes to ESOP, there is this worry about how the concerns involved in this process, be it legal, or how is it archived? Will I be able to manage it? So all these concerns of the users are taken care of Zenequity in the form of a digital process. end-to-end process. So with Signeasy at their core, Zenequity is able to provide just that. So Signeasy as API is enabling Zenequity to provide that in a seamless way in their web portal. And if you take a look at the second one, TruePill, they are a telemedicine portal in the UK. And the interesting thing is they are solving a very critical problem in the health industry. So in UK it's not that easy to get an off-the-counter medicine. So what happens is that a patient would have to get a signature from a doctor, and only then they can present it to the pharmacy and get the right prescription. And if they cannot get that signature at the right time, what happens is that they will be getting the medicine at the very wrong time, or maybe a little bit late. So to solve this, what TruePill has done is they have enabled the patients and doctors with a dashboard where they can request a consultation, a virtual consultation from the doctor, and the doctors can just they can pull up the records of the patients, and they can decide if they want a consultation, or they can just approve the prescription. So what happens at TruePill is that the patients get their medicines on time, and doctors are able to save a lot of time in virtual consultation and also signing the document itself. And this happens all the while being HIPAA compliant. And moving on, if you take a look at NPS, NPS is a public school that is solving a well-known problem that you and I went through in schools. So I hope, when we were in schools, we used to get this progress report cards, admission forms, term slips, and all this.
Yep.
Our teachers would give us, right? They just give it to us, and we'd be taking to home, and sometimes we'll miss it, or sometimes it'll take like a week to get it signed. So what NPS is doing here is they have this internal portal where they have digitized this entire process, this whole process for at least thousands of kids for their terms. What they're doing is they are issuing these documents directly to their parents, and the parents receive it on their devices, and they are able to sign it on time and also archive it based on the API workflows that we provide.
So, it's amazing to see how there are so various different use cases which are across industries and business document workflows, right?
Exactly.
And I think it'll be interesting to kind of quickly jump onto a big one that we want to just share, and then quickly in the next 5 minutes get on to the demo. So we have a poll at this moment. I would request everyone to kind of just share their views over here and where they're at. And right after this, we'll probably take about we'll let it be for 30 seconds to 45 seconds. And in the meanwhile, right after this, you'll see how rapid one of our customers here has improved their customer relationship and business processes by leveraging Signeasy. And Rappi is an Colombian on-demand delivery company headquartered in Bogota, Colombia. And they have about 25,000 delivery persons, and they do numerous deliveries every day, every hour. And that's where we help them. While it would look like there is no need of automation in this process, but yes, it is. Okay, so here we go.
Yeah. So let's start with Rappi here, Rappi's use case. So, Rappi's, like Samir said, Rappi is an on-demand delivery application that helps people get delivered things on time. And usually it's done with delivery partners and restaurant partners. So they operate in the South American region. We can think about like it as Uber Eats and DoorDash. So the story of Rappi is that when they started, they were like manually onboarding their delivery partners with a huge trail of paperwork, actually. And The whole process like took around like 10 to 15 days to onboard a single partner. And the process was also kind of like fractured between multiple internal departments that included legal, sales, and other departments. And also the whole process also was channeled through multiple internal systems as well. So due to this slow and convoluted process, they were only able to onboard like 10 to 15 partners in a day at the beginning. And when Rappi saw a huge demand and they expanded into multiple locations in around like 9 countries and 200 cities, they wanted to provide a simpler signing experience to their new partners. And also, of course, they wanted to provide a faster onboarding turnaround time as well. So what happened is that they leveraged Signeasy's API to simplify the onboarding process by integrating Signeasy's capabilities into their internal portal. This means that their legal and sales departments had a complete holistic view of the entire end-to-end onboarding process in just one single portal, and they had this access to all the signed documents as well. So this whole integration brought down their partner onboarding time to just 3 to 6 hours. It was 10 to 15 days before, and now it's 3 to 6 hours. That's like a 95% reduction.
Amazing. And imagine just getting 100 to 150 versus 10 to 15.
Yeah.
That's huge impact. And I think that's what's interesting as well, right? That not just about quickly implementing, but also the entire evaluation process, right? So
Exactly.
I think one of the thing that have happened is that ideally what we find is that the average time we take to evaluate an API is not more than 7 days. I mean, it's that quick because everything is available. And that includes exploration of APIs and testing the POCs. Our fastest, this is for everyone to know that the fastest we got someone from exploration and testing to actually going live was within 3 days. So you can just imagine, if you're evaluating APIs, eSignature APIs, it's not going to take much time. It will give you faster ROI than anything else that you're looking at. Now we're just getting on to the interesting part. We have one last poll over here. Please give us your thoughts on this. And in the meanwhile, I'll pass it on to Karthik, who will actually now show you a live demo of how a document workflow API works.
Yeah, I'll be sharing my screen in a minute.
Okay, over to you, Karthik.
So yeah, the core of the webinar, right? So let's start this live demonstration with a small story about Acme. So Acme, let's assume that it's a small company that sells licensed software to individuals and small businesses. And what you see here, this is their internal CRM portal that Acme's IT department has built for the sales department to enable them to close deals efficiently. So before we begin the demo, let's just understand how a typical sales process happens. So say if I'm the sales head of Acme, what I want is if I'm selling one of these three software, I'll be like wanting the customer and myself to agree upon 2 documents actually. So that will be a sales contract and a license agreement. So as you see here, this is the base structure of the sales contract, and we have the space that needs to be filled for the buying party and the selling party. And of course, we have the space for seller signature and the buyer signature. And the same case for the license agreement as well. And if you could think for a while, what are the options does sales have if they don't have if they're not aware of e-signatures or anything? So in that case, what they'll usually do is they have to use this as a template. They have to fill it up with their word processing software. They have to generate the PDF and send it over via email and requesting the buyer to upload a signature. But lucky for before that, actually, if they were doing this for 1 or 3 software sales, that is good enough, and there's no pain there. But if you just imagine that this Photo Magic CS software, it got viral hit, and they were like, Acme is receiving like thousands and thousands of orders every day. So in that case, at that scale, if you think about the whole manual chain of process, right, it's very painful to think about. The sales would have to do this the manual process that I just described for, like, I don't know. It's very, you can get right the
Just
machines versus.
imagine, on top of that also, just imagine the regular challenges we face of human errors, and these errors are, and also getting the latest information. You always expect your CRM to be always updated, right, with the right information, so about product, about service agreements, information that you want to add, and if that is automatically filled in, it just solves a lot of problems for the company and the sales function and the process itself. So yeah, great. Let's see this in action now.
Yeah. And yeah, of course, lucky for Acme, they have discovered Signeasy, and they have integrated the Signeasy's API in their portal. And I'll just demonstrate how the process happens. So like I said, I'm now the sales head of Acme here, and I'll be showing you how I'll be making a deal. So
Sure.
let's say I will be selling Photo Magic to Mr. John Doe here. So I'll be using my email here, and the customer's email, and my email here. And so I'll be hitting review and send here. So what happens here now is all the details that I've entered in the HTML form is now is being pulled out by the API, Signeasy's API, and it is getting merged onto the document that you have seen, this template here that you have seen. So in the meantime, I would like to give you an overview of the templates here. So all you have to do is set the right fields for the API to detect and match the data that you want to appear here. So if the page has been loaded here, and if you
so
see,
just to add here for everyone, so we had already this template was already created in Signeasy earlier, and then when the integration happens, so what you're seeing is that the CRM is automatically mapped to the fields in the documents, and then those are automatically filled by this integration, and now it's ready to be sent. So zero manual intervention. All you had to do is just at one time create these templates and map them to the fields in your CRM that you want, and then just hit send, and everything will be ready for you.
exactly, Samir. So right now I can see the values added to the document. And of course, there are, like I mentioned, there's the boxes for the seller to sign, buyer to sign. And I can also, like, if I'm a sales head, my intention is to make sure the sales contract and license agreement are in the right shape. So I can, if I want, I can just click on it and edit it on the fly as well. So right now, the document is as expected here. So what I'll be doing is I'll be hitting on send. So what happens now is these two documents in real world, if you want to send two documents, you usually put it in an envelope and send it out, right? So that is what happening here as well, except that it is a digital envelope. So right now the document has been sent to my email address. So let's close this. So for me as a sales head, once I complete this process, I can sit back and relax. But sometimes, when I send out a document, I want to know that if the document has been reached to the user, to the buyer, or what's the status of it, if they have viewed that or not. So right now I'll be checking my email. So yeah, I have received the document now as a buyer. So let me just click on it and view the document once. So coming back to the portal, if, like I said, I want to check the document status, right? So I can just, click on check, and it will show me that the buyer hasn't signed the document and the seller also hasn't
This
signed
is
it.
incredible, that you're getting everything automated from your CRM, getting filled, document is ready, you just have to send. And not just that, now you're also able to see the entire journey of that document, right,
Exactly.
in your CRM.
And
Amazing.
all that is happening in within this CRM. I'm not even
Right.
going to Signeasy.
Yep.
So right now I have viewed the document as a buyer. And now if I check the document status, it shows that the document has been viewed. So let me go ahead and sign the document. As you see again, yeah, these
Yep.
fields have been filled in the document. And right now I'm a buyer. So I'll be signing as John. Yeah. So I'll be finishing the signing. So what happens now is that the document is being prepared for the next signatory to sign. So that will be like, since this is an ordered signing, the buyer has to sign first, and then the seller has to countersign it to close the deal. So if I check my email again, I would have received for the buyer party. Okay. Yeah. So this will be Acme, which I'll be the seller who's countersigning the document now. So again, like when I'm viewing the document here, once the document is loaded, I'll be able to see that the Acme has signed. So right now, since buyer has signed, it shows that John Doe has signed the document, and it's waiting for Acme
And I
to
can
sign the
see
document.
so many value of this integration in any organization, right? And just imagine the entire sales process improvement, not just in terms of human errors and compliance and so on and so forth, but also in terms of forecast visibility, tracking and understanding your your document work journey, and then making sure that you are more predictable in the way you're doing business with your customers.
Of course. So now the document for the salesperson has been loaded. So I'll be signing as Acme and the date. So right now, if I finish the document is now getting saved, and the final leg of the document signing process. So right now, what is happening at Signeasy's end is it's generating all the audit trail that is required for verifying the document at a later stage. And this is what gives you the whole history of what happened with your document transaction throughout the right from the beginning to the end of the document signature. So if I go back to the portal and check my document status, give it a few seconds, and you'll see that the document has been fetched from Signeasy along with the audit trail. So if I look at here, this is the completed document, which shows.
This is what we were talking about, right? That the same document workflow that might be in place, still happening, but is not completely, is not complete, because there are still parts which you can improve as well. Like the entire audit trail is here that makes it risk free and also compliant and legally binding as well. And what I liked here, Karthik, is that imagine a lot of things have changed, not just automation, right? Because you can just in this example, right, for a sales function, just or a company, legal needs to review your license agreement. Legal needs to review and make sure that you have the latest version of the document available, right? So a lot of time goes into this back and forth. Now, what's happening here is that legal, in this example, will always keep the latest version ready, and that is already created and already set up as a template, and the automation is already done at the back end, right? So it's not just one thing that has improved other than the things you discussed. It's the entire process and the way you are using just the simple process of, sales contracts going out for signatures.
Exactly. And not just, it doesn't just eliminate the paperwork involved, but it also eliminates the back and forth email communication, right? So
yes,
there's this flow where you can also decline the document with a reason, and you can trigger internal workflows based on that as well. And to add, right, this status checking part, you can also even automate it further with webhooks, which means that instead of you checking the documents, Signeasy will be notifying you whenever the document status changes. So that is another level of automation. So
Great.
that is something, yeah, that is something great about APIs.
Great. So that was great. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, for a lot of people, just seeing this entire automation in a simple form of sales contract, but yet a lot of things happening by just this simple automation would probably give a lot more thoughts to their current areas of improvement. Uh, I'll just share back my screen. At this moment, guys. Uh, we have, as I told you, we are having these workshops where we will be spending some time to understand and deliberate a little bit more on if there are any API use cases that you have. There's a small there's a short yes or no on this question. So if you're looking forward to have that workshop, please let us know and we will be in touch with you. So just the last slide, last two slide to close the day. Why do customers love Signeasy? We've already shown you the ease of creating, using APIs, how simple they are, and how different use cases are solved by automating these, by using these eSignature APIs. Now, one of the thing that you see is that API, Signeasy API is easy to set up, delightful customer experience. That's what we provide, and obviously a great support during onboarding. And at this moment, what do you need to know? A lot of you who are already existing Signeasy customers for SaaS, and anyone who's looking for, Signeasy is already an enterprise grade e-signature platform, and it is used widely across the world, cross platforms, browser, mobile, APIs. And also we've ensured that we meet necessary compliances required by our customers, and they have returned the support by getting us recognitions and awards. And at this moment, we would just like to close by saying that our robust yet flexible APIs are handling thousands of transactions daily, and we would like to help you streamline some of those processes internally as well. So thank you very much, everyone, for spending and letting us go through this session today. And we would open the session for taking up any questions. And your phone lines are also, your lines are also open. You can also speak up or put something on chat, and we will look at that.